Hello and welcome to On the Kerbs. I'm your host, Team Albers Daily. Joining me this week is Swedish racing driver Andreas Magnusson. We caught up recently for a quick chat about what made him decide to get into rallying to begin with, the most challenging time in his career so far, which motorsport era he'd love to go back and race in, and much, much more. So without any further ado, let's just get straight into it. I hope you enjoy our conversation. So, hi Andreas, thanks for being here today. First of all, how are you?
Yeah, thank you. I'm good, thanks.
Perfect. So, first question I like to ask everyone I talk to on here, what first got you interested in motorsport?
Well, I've grown up with motorsport. My grandfather and also father has worked with motorsport as long as I can remember. And my father has also been the service park manager for Rally Sweden for many years. So I remember when I was a little kid and met all the rally stars. And
so it's always going to happen then.
And there the interest began.
So then, why did you choose rallying over a different form of motorsport?
I've always been interested in rallying, but I started my career in folk race, as we have in Sweden, a cheaper kind of rallycross. Because in the beginning I didn't have the budget to do rallying, but for about 3 years I finally had the budget and then decided to go rallying.
So it's always going to be, it was always in the background, really, like you say, with your father and your grandfather, and it just seemed like the natural thing for you.
Yeah, I always wanted to do rallying.
So you're never tempted by anything else?
I had actually plans for rallycross, but when I needed to choose, the strongest feeling was for rallying.
So when you know, you know.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
So how is the 2022 season going for you so far?
So far it has gone pretty well. I is only in the start of my career, but we managed to have some podiums in local Swedish competitions. And we also did the debut in the Swedish Championship last weekend and finished 4th in our category.
So close to another podium then.
Yeah.
So with kind of that early success you're saying about getting on the podium, is that 4th result like last weekend, like you say, are you happy with that, or are you frustrated now immediately that you're like, oh, but I can get on the podium?
I would say I am really happy because it was the debut and a lot of things were new. It was the first real competition with my own notes, because in Sweden it's pretty rare that you do your own notes. It's more usual that all competitors use the same notes.
So it's kind of extra satisfying in a way then, I suppose. I've kind of flipped that from being disappointed to being quite happy with it.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
So you say you're at the start of your racing career, but do you have a fun racing related story that you can share?
I don't know really. Well, it has happened a lot of fun things, but I remember in the start of my rallying career, I changed a gearbox by mistake.
How did that happen?
I thought it was the gearbox that was broken, but it was only a drive shaft.
Well, so at least you know the gearbox is definitely perfect afterwards.
Yeah, I changed the gearbox, and after I was done, I realized that it was not broken.
How annoyed were you?
Yeah, really annoyed.
Well, did you manage to get the drive shaft fixed in the end in time for the race, or would you have to, or was it too late by that point and you just had to deal with it?
Yeah, this was between 2 races, so that was never a problem.
That's all right.
It was just much work.
Yeah. Well, at least you know how to change a gearbox for definite, and you can just extra practice.
Yeah, sure.
So, what's been the most challenging time in your motorsport career so far, and why?
I would say that last year was really challenging. A lot of things didn't work out. We changed to a new car, and in the first stage, in the first competition, we rolled, and we managed to fix the car. And 2 weeks later, we hit a tree. Was on the first stage, so that was really, really tough. And after that, we had to work to get back and find the fun thing with the sports again.
Was it a big roll that you did?
It was a very soft roll, but the hit in the tree was quite heavy, and the car got a lot of damage.
Yeah, they're quite solid trees, unfortunately, aren't they?
Yeah, it's more solid than a car, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, put it this way, at least you get all of that kind of stuff out the way in one go, maybe, and then hopefully there'll be less of that moving forward.
We actually ended last season with hitting another tree. So
I feel like you're not getting the message there.
Yeah, but so far this year it has gone really well, and we only have retired one competition out of, I think, 9 races this year. So
that's better than fingers crossed. Anyway, try not to jinx anything.
Yeah, for sure.
So rallying obviously takes place pretty much everywhere at this point. Where would you love to go racing that you haven't had the opportunity yet?
Well, I've only done rallying in Sweden so far, but I would love to go to other countries. And well, in Scandinavia, Finland is always a dream.
At least it's not too far to travel as well, then. So perfect.
Yeah, no, for sure.
And who would you love to either race against or race with in the future?
Hard question, but we have a lot of old stars doing the Swedish championship. And if I could get to the highest category and compete against drivers like PG Anderson, who is a junior world champion, it would be fantastic.
Do you think you could beat him?
Maybe in a couple of years when he is old and I'm pretty young.
Take the advantage. So then on the kind of flip side of that, if you could go back and race in any era of motorsport, which time period and category would you choose?
I always find the Group B cars very interesting, and it looks amazing.
I had a feeling you might say that.
Yeah, yeah, it seems so demanding, so it would be fantastic to be in that era.
Yeah, very different to now in a lot of ways there.
Yeah, for sure.
And so you're saying about podiums earlier, this question's kind of come quite nicely then. So would you rather win one race or always be on the podium but never win?
I would choose to win one race. It's not fun to become second or third.
I kind of thought you might. That's definitely a racing driver answer that never satisfied and does it absolutely first. And then fun, non-related final question. Which game show would you love to take part in?
Hard question, but I always liked Top Gear, so that could be my answer.
So definitely getting in some of the challenges that they do. And say, rallying probably comes in quite handy there. You probably do all right, I think.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, been a pleasure chatting with you, and I want to wish you the best of luck for the rest of 2020 season. Hopefully, I've not jinxed you at all, and we're just going to have a nice, smooth season.
Yeah, I hope so.
thanks again to Andreas for coming onto the Kerbs with me, and I want to wish him the best of luck for the rest of 2022 and beyond. Join me again soon when I'll be chatting to another famous face from the world of motorsport. And in the meantime, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and check out the other interviews on the On the Kerbs YouTube channel. If you want to hear more from me, you can listen to me chat about F1, amongst other things, over on the Undercut podcast, and you can also hear me dissecting everything Nitro RX related, including chatting with special guests, over on the Nitro RX podcast. Both podcasts are available here on YouTube, as well as over on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and wherever else you like to listen. You can also follow me over on Instagram at t.albers.daily.onthekerbs and read my various motorsport articles over on Is It Fast and Paddock Sorority. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you again next week for the next episode.